Well, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today, on the table in front of us, we have a new knife to the collection. Now, this is not a new knife. This is the VDK War Admiral. Now, you guys know that, if you've been watching the channel a while, you know that I collect, or have recently begun collecting, VDK knives. And so the War Admiral here is the newest addition to the collection, and I am really, really happy about it. It's a beautiful knife. Let's put the talisman and the vise away, because these two knives have more in common than you think. They are both made by we. They are both designed by Vlad over at VDK, and they are both exquisite. I mean, we killed it with these knives, no question. The blade on the War Admiral is just something to behold, and the action, well, much like the Impaler here, they are just fall shut, smooth, and super interesting. I love this knife. Well, let's talk about the War Admiral. What do you get? Well, you get a giant chunk of M390. And in fact, you get 1, 2, 3 and a half, 1, 2, 3 and 3/4 of cutting on 3.5 inches of M390. And that's because of the way that the sharpened edge is actually behind the scale here. The grip area on this thing is 1, 2, 3, 4 full inches of grip. And it is very comfortable in hand. This is hollow ground beautifully. It has this fuller that runs the length of the blade, so you can spidey flick it open if you are so inclined. But of course, the flipper on this thing is never fail. Now, I've spoken to Vlad over at VDK, and I shared my collection with him, and he is a cool dude. He has a new knife called the Strix coming out, and I may get one of those to take a look at, and I'm really looking forward to that too. These are out there if you look. I had to hunt for this for a while. Hang on just a second. The blade is smudged. It's terrible. It's because I keep carrying the thing. The overall knife in length, since we're going to finish up the specs, I'm not going to weigh this one out for you, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1/8 inches long. It is a really nice size. Now, it does take up a fair amount of real estate in the pocket because of this cleaver blade. But God, look at that. Oh, man. Here's the thing, though. For all of its style, and there is a lot of it, much like all the other VDK knives that I have, for all of its style, it doesn't give up an inch, an ounce, a tiny little bit of functionality. This is a beautiful, interesting design that also happens to be a marvelous cutter and a great EDC, as are all of these. And I love that. It doesn't take a lot to make just a pocket knife. Lots of people do it. It takes a little more to make a good pocket knife. Fewer people do that. But to bring art into the mix and to have it remain totally functional, well, that takes a certain amount of skill. And there are a number of designers doing it. I'm not saying that's not the case, but there are fewer of them than I would like, because stuff like this is just awesome. Let's do a size comparison as I reach across the table. Sorry about that. Here it is against our old friend, the Bug Out, and of course, the Bug Out just is dwarfed by the War Admiral. Okay. Here it is against our old friend, the Rat Model 1. Now, the Rat 1 is a little longer, but of course, because of the way it is designed, you get a lot less cutting. Man, I love this knife. I really do. 1, 2, 3 and 3/4. Yeah, man. That is just a marvelous amount of cutting edge. I've had this thing long enough to carry it, long enough to use it, and of course that's use it by my standards. I'm not out there beating the crap out of it. But I have cut open packages, and I've cut open food, and I have used it in the kitchen as a test, and I have cut open cardboard, and I've cut some rope with it just for fun, and some paracord just for fun beyond that. And it is just great to use. Now this is the War Admiral V2. I should have said that right off the bat. There is a version 1 that I would love to get my hands on, at least to review. So if you're listening and you have one, I would love to borrow it just to compare the two. Vlad over at VDK doesn't even have one. He said he'd loan one to me. So if there's one out there and you don't mind sending it my way, now's a great time because I would love to run a comparison video. But in the meantime, this is the newest piece of my VDK collection. It is the War Admiral V2. It is made by We. It is all titanium, running on bearings with an M390 blade. It is beautiful, it is interesting, and I am really, really glad I got one. Thank you so much for watching. There's more videos coming up this week. The recovery from the eye surgery rolls right along, and that's improving all the time. I'm going to hear Knives is over there saying, "Arg," because I'm still a pirate. I've got my patch on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about the War Admiral V2 or any of the amazing VDK knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. We'll see you next time.